Hey, do you like playing with paint, paper, glue, scissors, inks, dyes, gel plates? My name's Lee Elks and I love to play around with all of those things and create mixed media art and make junk journals. So on that note, let the creating begin. Hi everyone, thank you for coming back to let me show you how I put together my book of paper samples. I just thought I'd make it sort of like like a carpet display sample folder, that type of thing. So a bit of card on the front and the back, and the pages attached to the cards somehow. So I'm making a header for the back and the front, and I'm using a stencil from PM Artist Studio there. That's their butterfly stencil. What I've just sprayed on there was oxide ink, Distress Oxide, and I decided the design wasn't distinct enough, so I put the stencil back on, and I'm going to add some paint through it. So now I'm using some acrylic paint. So one is colour Aqua and the other one is called Tranquility, and I'm just going to brayer that through the stencil. Decided to add another little one down in that corner for a partial print, and using my clean up sheet just to get rid of the excess paint so it dries a bit quicker. The next thing I'm doing is applying just a little bit of raw umber paint in different places, and I'm using that trivet to put a few patterns on there. Most of that ends up getting covered up a bit later on, so I've decided to put some of that through the stencil as well. So put the stencil back on and run the brayer over it. So I change now to black gesso instead of the raw umber. And decide to add a bit of black gesso to the original imprint on the other side. So I just continue to add inks and paints to build up some texture, and I'll just let that play along and put some music in. Was originally going to have a bigger panel on the front than on the back, and then I changed my mind and cut down the first one I made, cut a little bit off the bottom so it was about the same size, and you'll see me do that a little bit later on. I'm just going through the papers and sorting the order out. I don't want them to be all like a uniform size. I want them to be round about the same length, but I don't care if they're not the same width. And I sort of wanted to, so that when you looked at one, you could see a little bit of what was coming up next. So I staggered them in some ways, because when you could see a bit of the one that was coming up, it made you want to turn the page to have a look and see what was there. So still just working out that order, and then I'll go about putting holes in my headers with my crocodile. And this is when I realised I should have made them both the same size. It didn't work, that idea of having the bigger one. So I'm just putting the finishing touches on and putting a big bow on the front to try and cover up the mess I made of the binding down below. But anyway, it doesn't matter. And let me know what you think of this in the comments down below. If you've got any questions, I have a video for how I've made all of the, or most of the papers. There's also a more in-depth flip through that I did for the Makers Creative collaboration. And I'm not sure whether I'll actually use these papers or whether I'll just look at them and admire them, but I had a lot of fun making them, experimenting with different styles. And yeah, I hope I've inspired you to have a go, and you can put anything in between your layers of paper, that's for sure, and use up stuff that's lying around your house. So don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and we'll see you in another video soon. And I'll say cheers from Australia. Hooroo!